So the first thing we need to understand is the difference between the TI website itself, the Toastmasters International website, and the pathways, which is over there, and the EasySpeak platform. So EasySpeak platform is a different platform. It is not connected or linked to TI. A lot of people in the club have assumed that if they update something on EasySpeak, it automatically does it on the TI platform. No, it doesn't happen. So the first thing I wanted to clarify is that the TI platform is where you manage your membership, where you can access your pathways through the Basecamp, and you can access all the resources that is provided through the Pathways learning program that Toastmasters International has to offer. That's also where you track your progress for completion of levels, where you need to submit for completions so that you get recognition for completing a different level of each pathway. And finally, when you finish all the 5 levels in one path, which we will talk about a little bit later, you can apply for completion of a path itself. On the other hand, EasySpeak is just one of the many tools that is available for us to effectively manage a meeting. What do I mean by that is this is a platform where you can sign up for different roles for a specific meeting. So previously, when I was a member of the club, I remember we used to do this via email, and there used to be a sign up sheet and so on. And many of you who have been members for a long time, I think we have done even the manual sign up sheet and Excel and so on. And this EasySpeak platform, though not that easy, still makes it a little bit more comfortable to kind of visualize what roles are available, which roles we could take up, and we could also see the progress of our roles, what roles we have taken in the recent past. And also it gives some visibility to the VPE when a particular member requests for a speech. And if they have recently done a speech, let's say just a couple of weeks back, we can make a quick check to see, oh, this person has done a speech recently, so maybe I'll ask them if they can wait a couple more weeks before doing a speech and give chance to others. There is no actual connection between EasySpeak, the platform itself, and the TI. They're not talking to each other at all. They are run by different organizations. That's number one to understand. And the most important reason why we have chosen to use EasySpeak as a club was because, I mean, obviously you can understand we are a very huge club. And if each one of us were to sign up on an Excel sheet and so on, it might be quite cumbersome. So this is why we have chosen to use this platform. Is this clear? If it's clear, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. First, I'll talk about the TI platform, and we'll talk about the pathways and the other programs that are available on the TI website. And the second part will be when we talk about the EasySpeak. This is what will appear when you first open the TI website. So when you say toastmasters.org, this is what opens up. So here, for all of you, because you're already members of the club, you all should have your username and password. For those who have joined the club recently, whatever email address that you have used to sign up to become a member of the club, the same email address is what you use to first log in. It'll ask you to create a password, or you can just do forget password and create a password, and then it will let you get into the platform. If there are any challenges for you to access this tool, as a first time member of the club, you can easily reach out to the VP memberships to help you if there's any challenges on this front. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go in. I'll go to the login, which is right here. And then I'm going to log into my email address, and my password is saved. So I'm going in. This website works best on a desktop or a laptop or whatever you're using. It's not very mobile friendly so far. So if you're trying to access things through your mobile, it can be quite challenging. So I would highly recommend you to access this through your PCs. You can see the first thing is home and welcome. And if you have given a profile picture, there's a profile picture if you've added one, and then it'll tell you members since that you've been a member of Toastmasters. For new members who have not yet signed up for Pathways, you may not yet see go to Basecamp. So first, I'm going to talk about the Learning Hub for the benefit of the newer members in the club, and then we'll go to the Basecamp. And then the third one is the Achievement Board. So first one is the Learning Hub. So if I click on the Learning Hub, it gives me a few options. It asks me to choose my learning, that is what pathway I would like to buy or choose. It's to view Navigator, a guide to the pathways in Toastmasters. This is to go to the base camp, and these are some FAQs on the education programs. So as a new member to the club, if you're going to be choosing your pathways, or as an existing member of the club who is looking to sign up for a new pathway, this is where you go. So I'll click on choose my learning. Here I choose my language, English, and then it gives me an option to select a learning, which could be either I view all the content that is available, or I can take an assessment to choose which path I should go for. For the benefit of everyone to be able to see what paths are available, I'm going to choose this, which is view all learning. And here you can see that we have 6 paths available for us to choose from. So you can see it on this side as well. So there's dynamic leadership, engaging humor, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, and visionary communication. So when you click on any of these, it'll give you further details of what entails in this particular path. So you can see over here, this path helps you build your skills as a strategic leader. The projects on this focus on understanding leadership and communication styles and so on. I'm not going to go into the details, but you could look into this in more detail when you explore the programs. Then it gives you details also of what are the different projects that you need to finish within each level of each path. Each path has 5 levels. So there's level 1 to 5, each having different number of projects to be done. So you can take a look at it over here. And then as you can see from level 3 on, you can see there's something called as an elective project, as you can see. And for the elective projects, they have given you further options to be done. Now, as you know, there have been even more updates on pathways, and for every path beyond these, you also need to do successful club series and best speaker series, better speaker series, and so on, which is added. And for some reason, they have not yet updated it on this platform. But I have another link to share with you all where you can see all of it in one go. You can also see now at present, each path is costing us $20 US, and this is only effective until the 1st of July, and the paths are going to increase to $35 US from 1st of July. So in case you are closer to a path completion, or you know that you are going to be doing another path in the near future, I would highly recommend for you to buy so that you can save a little bit of money while choosing the path. For all new members who are first time Toastmasters, the first path that you choose is always free. So once you finish your first path, this $20 is applicable when you are going to choose your second path as a part of the learning program for Toastmasters. Then if you see also here, they have added 2 new things. One is the basic training for Toastmasters and this CS entertaining and storytelling. And these are from the vintage paths that existed back in the day. And they have recently added this. And these are each for $60 US. I have not experienced these paths, so I have not much to share. But if any of you have done either of these previously, please let us know. And we would love to know more about what these entail and whether it's worth spending $60 US on these paths. But as of now, from a simple use of pathways point of view and Basecamp point of view, I think knowing that there are 6 paths is sufficient at the moment. I'll then go back again to the Learning Hub. Once I've chosen the path that I have decided to pursue, it will go into my Basecamp. That's where I track, access my path. And I'm going to click on the welcome page. Hold on, let me go back there. And yeah, I'll go to Basecamp. So if you have already started working on a path, you would usually see the path as an active path in your learning progress. So I have 3 paths going on at the moment. So I am so I can see them. And then there's another one that I just signed up for. This is free. And I was just trying to look at what details exist in it. So that was something that I was just playing around with. So let me go into a path that I'm doing now, engaging humor, and show you how it actually looks like inside of the path once you start working on it. And I hope that a lot of you who have been long-standing members of the club are well aware of this, and you could also help the newer members to get a little bit more used to the system. Here you can see in this engaging humor path, you have, again, like I mentioned, 5 levels, and I have finished level 1 and 2. So you can see a green tick against them. So if I expand the level 1, it shows me the 5 speeches that I have had to do. So icebreaker, writing a speech with a purpose, and so on. And then if I click on this one, which is the newly added one that you remember from the training I did in December, for those of you who attended it, and for the new members, these are just requirements that you need to fulfill. This is not new for you because you are already into this system at the moment. So there's a level 1 requirement that you need to fulfill. So you don't have to just do speeches, which is there's 2 speeches in this evaluation and feedback. And here you have 3 speeches: the icebreaker, writing a speech with purpose, and vocal variety and body language. But you also need to fulfill a few meeting roles for finishing your level 1, which is being a table topics speaker, being an evaluator, and doing one additional role, which is either a timer or an hour counter. I'm just going to show this for level 1. I'm not going to delve into this for every level, but you can see that once you check this, you can go here to checklist and completion. And when you submit for completion of level, you need to make sure that you have done all of these projects and all of these requirements are fulfilled before you send it as complete to your VPEs. So you have to make sure that you've done a role as a table topic speaker, you've done your 5 speeches that you were supposed to do, you've served as an evaluator, and also taken one additional role as either a timer or an hour counter. So once you've finished all of this, so I have finished all of this, so I have checked all of them, and then I need to go down all the way. I mean, they ask you for reflection questions. These are just for your notes. No one's tracking this, at least from my understanding. And then there'll be a button over here that says, have you completed all the requirements? And I can verify that I've completed it. Once I do this and I've completed it, I still need to go to this one, which is level 1 completion. And once you go to level 1 completion, you check on this box and you will see a box over here again that have you completed all the requirements, and I say yes. Are you willing to submit to TI? And I say yes. I'll show this to you in the level that I haven't completed to show you how it looks. So, and once you submit this, this is when I currently as VPE would get a notification in my TI Basecamp Manager, which is something you will not see, but I will see as a VPE, that this person has applied for completion of level 1 for this for this path. So what I need to do as a VPE is to make sure that you have done all the roles required, you've done all the speeches that are required. And if I don't have visibility on the roles you've completed, etc., I would reach out to you and say, could you please provide me a list of all the roles you've done so that I can make sure that you've completed the path as per the requirement. Now, I have a question from the audience that for the meeting roles, can those be counted retrospectively? Do you mean to say retroactively, like something you've done before can be counted now? Is that what you mean, Queenie?
Yes. I'm not sure.
Okay. So no. So that there's a very specific mark over there that says that from when you've started the path, that you've signed up and you've started the path, from that's the time when we also have to consider in that duration that you've completed the role.
Starting means buying the pathway on the system, or what exactly?
Let's hypothetically assume you finished a level 1 path already and you're starting your level 2. So you've started the level 2 in, let's say, March, okay, of this year. And you can start counting all the roles that you've started doing in March. So your first speech, if you started doing it in March, you could count that. Or if you have, I mean, at least for now, what I'm doing is when people are submitting, I do consider someone who has done a role in February, like a month before, because I think it's all right. But you couldn't be saying that I did a GE role 6 months ago and now I need to get credit for it for this path. So the TI, if you look in the details, it says very clearly that you need to finish all those roles during the duration of the path since you've started of the level that you've started. And it cannot be duplicated. So if you've used one role for a certain level, you cannot just say that, oh, I've done this role before, so I count it for the other level. No. So you still need to do it for each level each time.
Sorry, Yang. So the start date of the pathway is when I completed the project, the first three projects
The
of my
first project, yes.
the first project. So I need to complete one speech first for
Yes.
that pathway, and then the other facilitator roles that I've taken would be counted towards the.
Perfect. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Thank you for the question. It was on my list of things to mention,
oh,
but thanks
sorry.
very
Yeah, I
much.
was.
No, 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 it's perfect. I'm so happy that you're listening. So, no. So I know that you're doing your first speech on the 18th, right? So we can start, but I mean, obviously we don't have to be so strict. So I think if you're doing it in May, we can just start counting it from the beginning of May. So if you've done a role in the couple of meetings before that, of course we can count that in. It doesn't have to be that crazy. But if you say that you've done a role as GE in March or in February, then of course it's a little bit questionable for us to consider that, right, as a VPE.
I'm
So
asking because I've taken a lot of
yeah.
roles. So
No,
I'm
no,
just
no. I think this is a valid question, and I think many of them maybe some don't think of it at the moment, but then later when they start to fill the requirements, they might have this question. All right.
thank you.
So as you can see, thanks, Queenie, for the question. Can I move on?
While I'm getting the airtime, I have another question is whether the evaluator need to fill in any feedback on the
Yes,
system,
yes,
on the system.
yes. Yes, I will come to, yes, I will show that in a minute. I mean, for the benefit of the new members, but yes, you will need to have an evaluation form and something, I'll mention it in a bit. Can I hold?
Sure, sure.
I'll come back to it. Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So now I'm going to just quickly show you for the benefit of the newer members. This, for example, level 3, you can see there's this is called increasing knowledge. The reason why I want to show this is where you have additional projects to do besides just the regular speeches that were required for us to do. So there's a level 3 requirement. So you have one required project, which is one speech. You have to do two electives, and there's a whole list of electives you could choose from. And from this level 3, you also have the addition of this successful club series. And in level 4, you have a better speaker series, and level 5 you have successful club and leadership excellence. I mean, and a couple of extra projects that you need to do. So here, if you see successful club series, you need to finish one of these four projects that you could choose from. When you click on this actually takes you to a different link where you can download details for what you need to present. So there's also a presentation that you could readily use, but I do hope that achievers can be more creative and they can use, their own presentations or tools for presenting this in the club. But the idea is for us to have a successful club series is for us to help build a better environment, or supporting the club to hold better quality meetings in the club. So this is in a way for us to also learn how to do these different roles in the club and so on. So you can see meeting roles and responsibilities, keeping the commitment. Successful club series is there in all level 3, level 4, and level 5, but the options to choose from change each time. You will notice that each of the time there will be four different options that you choose from. Now again, just like the level 1 I showed you, you will have this checklist, and as you complete the different projects, you can check the list over here. And like I mentioned earlier, you need to make sure that I have done this, right? So when you've marked this, you're ready to mark that the section is complete, and then you say I've completed my requirements. And like I mentioned before, you have to still go back after you finish all your other projects, still go to level 3 completion. And then this one says submit for level 3 completion. Now, if you have more than one club that you're working with, it will show you the list of all the clubs that you are a member of. So you can choose which club that you are giving this particular credit for that particular level to. And obviously, if many of you are members of multiple clubs, please make sure that you are giving the credit to the club where you do most of the speeches and the roles, because then it's kind of fair, because you don't want to be just giving a credit, or at least give priority to that club if they need that particular level for their uh, points for the DCP awards, which is something I'll talk about later. We don't need to discuss this at the moment. But this is something for keeping up the credibility of our club in general. If I go to a first speech, the icebreakers, the interesting thing is that each path has an icebreaker speech. So every path you choose, you talk about yourself to the club once again. So you can keep different stories ready for different parts that you do and share one cool aspect about you each time with the club. So if you see, when you move on, you can see different details of how the project needs to be done. It gives a very detailed explanation of what you could do. You could choose to use this and, follow the education curriculum that's available over here. It's pretty detailed. It's pretty interesting. If you're a seasoned member, perhaps you've not looked through this or you've not felt the need to do it, but I would still highly recommend at least to look through a few of these things, and you might have some new ideas or perspectives on how to do your speeches at the club. Now, here you can, at the first one, you will always see when you have the icebreaker, the first tab, you will always see details of the resources that are available. So there'll be a project checklist, there will be an evaluation resource, there will be the print the icebreaker project if you want a PDF, and a speech outline for newcomers if you wish to use it. The most important thing I would talk about from here is your evaluation resource, also what Queenie just asked me about. So when you go into this, you will see that there's a evaluation form and it says icebreaker. So this is the form that you could either send a digital copy of or print. I would usually say people prefer a printed copy. So when they make notes, they can give you comments on it at the club. And then you write your details, your name, the speech title, etc. And here it gives you the details of what the evaluator is evaluating you on. And so what have you excelled at, what you may want to work on, how can you challenge yourself. And the next page talks about different aspects of how the evaluation, what were the different things like the clarity, your vocal variety, the eye contact, gestures, audience awareness, comfort level, interest, and so on. And because this is an icebreaker, you don't have too many components to this sheet, but every single project has an evaluation resource available for it. So what you would need to do when you do a speech, you need to check on the sign up sheet, who is my evaluator, tell them that this is the speech I'm doing, provide them this document. And if you want to be evaluated on any specific criteria, you can also mention that to them. For the completion of the parts, I would highly recommend that you keep a record of the evaluation resource, what Queenie just asked me, because we need to also make sure that you have an evaluation. This becomes even more important if you're doing a speech outside of our club. So let's say you're doing it at another club for practice, or you are doing it at a contest or at a different event and so on. We would need to know where you've done the speech, who was your evaluator there, and if you have used this evaluation resource. So that's something that the VPE would need for making the records. I'm going to go back home to the pathways and paths and learning, and this is the home page that you see. Here there's also a tab called achievements. So I can go to achievements and I can see what badges I have got, which is basically the level completions that you've done so far. So you can also see what you've submitted so far. You can see if they have been completed or not. Then I would like to go back to my Toastmasters home, which is over here on the side, because now I'm in base camp. And I'm going to quickly show you one more tab over here. I mean, you can explore these tabs. It has all like detailed information of different things that Toastmasters has to offer, but I'm just going to quickly show you resources. And here you have different resources where here you have script templates, like there are forms, flyers. It's a lot of stuff. But if you need something very, very specific, you could go and find it over here. There's also videos for instruction, inspiration, encouragement, and you could explore this. There are some podcasts that you can see. And then there's an ebook on growing your club and things like that. These are kind of old resources, but if you ever want to explore, this is the place where you would be able to see them. If you are a part of running a speech contest for the club, this is also where you can see the speech contest resources, like the rule books, what are, the rule book for different kinds of contests, there's FAQs and so on. So just so you know where these exist.
When I fill in the form during the meeting using handwriting, then how do I upload
So
or just send
So you for regular meetings, because we already see the record that someone has filled that in for you, right? So we would usually take that into account, and I would usually say that I know that someone has evaluated you and we would approve it. So
Oh, so
it's not such a big
easy.
requirement, but
Oh,
specifically when it is done in a club outside or at an event or something else, and you are recording that speech as one of your path speeches, level speeches, then we would want to make sure that someone has evaluated you and you've actually done the speech. Like it's like a proof of having completed it. And you can also upload the completed evaluation if you want as a PDF into the TI website as well. I'll show that later because then I'll have to go back again into the whole thing. If I'll include that when I share the resources later. But you could also do that, but I don't find it especially useful and it's a waste of time. But I would still suggest that you can maybe just keep a copy of it somewhere if needed. So far, we have not been questioned. So I hope this will not be a challenge. Yes, for your own record, exactly. It's good to upload. Yeah. I mean, yes, exactly. So it's not for the purposes of this. Yes. So, one other link that I would like to share with you, because while I was exploring tools, I came across this. Can you see the District 4 Toastmasters? Yes or no? I mean, I'm just making sure. Okay.
yes.
So they have been quite proactive in creating like updates on their platform. So, if you see here, they have included this is a part called Paths and Projects, and they have done a very good job of including what are the requirements for each level for each path, which is still not updated on the TI website, ironically. But for example, for level 1, you do the speeches, but they have also included that the meeting roles that need to be done. So it's all in one glance. You can take a look. So if you go to level 3, you can quickly see that, you have one main project, which is in dynamic leadership, it's negotiate the best outcome. And then you have electives to choose from. And then you have the meeting roles to take. And then you have the successful club series. So if you're ever confused as to how many things you need to do for completing a specific level in a path, I think this is a good resource to have. So if you see the level 5 now, you can see there's two specific projects that you need to complete. And then you have one elective to do. Then you have the meeting roles that you need to do, that is GE twice. You have to do 7 meeting roles in order to complete the level 5. And then you have to do one project on successful club series and one on leadership excellence series. So this is all the stuff that that you need to use for completion of a level. And I found this to be quite useful. So I thought this is something I could share. I'll share this link in the Zoom chat, and later I'll also share it with the club. I would like to move on to the EasySpeak platform. I think we are good on time. EasySpeak is not the easiest tool, but I think from a member's point of view, it's quite simple to figure out. So let me go to this. So one of the things you have to know is that this easy-speak.org, when you type it on your mobile phone, for some reason, this doesn't show up. So on my phone, actually, I have a shortcut to it, like a link that, the tab that I have on the home screen. So I quickly go to EasySpeak. Again, it's not a very mobile friendly platform because they don't have a mobile friendly version. So I would highly recommend to also log into EasySpeak through a PC, ideally, because it's much simpler this way. For EasySpeak, you would have received an email giving you your username. My username is Ramya ACH, and I think your names should be similar to this. So that's my username and password, and then you log in. One important thing to note is that if you have had an EasySpeak profile before, you might have duplicate IDs, and this is not a very clever system. So you might have to make sure that you've not had an EasySpeak account elsewhere with any other club or any other place before when you tell us, because sometimes this duplication causes a lot of chaos for accessing the system. Now, when you log in, you will see this as the first page. Now, I'm seeing this as a VPE, so I'm going to change it to a club member view because at the moment I see many more tabs. I'm going to do a club member view. So this is what you see when you log in. So I'll quickly show you a few things here. So first is meetings. So this is the entire calendar. You can see the details of all the meetings here for the upcoming months, the previous months, and so on. Here is my participation, which is what matters to you the most as a member of the club. And here you can see the 3 things that are important. Number 1, signing up for meetings. 2, your workbooks. And 3, your speech progress, right? So I'm going to first show you my workbook and speech for progress, and then I'll quickly go to signing up for meetings. So my workbooks, if you go to this, you can see I have 4 workbooks. Again, this was the optional one that I have done. So these are my 3 parts. They were the same corresponding to the Toastmasters International one that I had. Again, you can see the details of each project here as well, as you can note. And here they have already added the requirements as well. So here you have level 3, the compulsory speeches. You have the non-speech roles added, the ones that you need to do, and then the speeches that you need to do for the successful club series, and these are the electives that you have for level 3 and so on. This is not super important if you're referring to any other platform for your speeches, but this is where you can see which workbooks you have chosen. The second thing I will show you is view my speech progress. You can see this is my profile. If you have requested any speech in the upcoming meetings, then you will see that requested speech over here. Now, these are some of the roles I've done in the past, but I have not been able to assign them to any pathway task because they're not aligned with the dates of that specific level that I was completing. So they're just showing up over here. And here you can see your workbook matrix. Now, the good thing that's happened with EasySpeak is that they have kept up with the changes in TI. So they are also including all the meeting roles, etc., that you need to complete for each path, each level that you're completing. So now, for example, for the level like engaging humor, this is the one that I've started close to when the changes happened on the Toastmasters on the pathways. So if you can see over here, if I highlight on these darker ticks that you see over here, you can see the roles that I have done. So there's an R counter role. There is the light green is my speech. You can also see what you have completed over here. It shows you who was your evaluator for each of these speeches, if you have entered it. If there's a speech done outside the club, usually I cannot add someone who's not on EasySpeak as your evaluator if that person was someone not from our club. So you can just let me know, and then we would add someone in the club, or just leave it blank as the evaluator, and we'll take care of it. Here you can also see your completion. So you've done the evaluator's role, the timekeeper's role, and R counter role. And then these are the speeches you've done, and so on. And then now for level 3, I need to start doing a project on the successful club series. So once I do this, it'll show as completed, and I'll move on to the next speeches. So this is what you would see in your, it's like your My Communicator progress in this space. So the same way, if you have multiple parts that you have chosen, you can see for each of those, the roles you've done, which dates you've done, and what are your pending roles that you need to complete for each level. I'll go to signing up for meetings, the fun bit, which I'm interested to show you most. Signing up for meetings, if you click over here, this is a good thing because you can already see the 4 upcoming meetings for the club. And you can quickly see at a glance, which roles are available, which roles I would like to take. Here, the one thing you may notice is that you can sign up for the roles like the evaluator, the R counter, but you will not see an option to sign up for the role of a GE or a chairman, because that's usually handled by the VPEs directly. And you will not see the option to sign up for the speakers, because that's something that you need to request a speech for. And that you can see over here, request speech. So the moment you request speech, there'll be a pop-up. So this is what you will see. So for the new members now who have not yet done a speech or who are planning to do their first speech, this is what you need to do, your speech title. So if you have not chosen a workbook so far, you would need to select a workbook. So here you have this option which says select workbook. So I go here and you will see tons of different workbooks available on EasySpeak, and this is a little problematic because we have had situations where our club members have chosen an older version of the workbook, and then we are not able to add speeches. This happened recently both with Jessica and Charles. But what I would specifically mention to y'all now is that make sure that you sign up for the latest version that you see of that particular path. So, for example, there is Dynamic Leadership 2025-10, and this is what you need to choose. Don't accidentally select the 21 or 2021 or the 2017 version. Motivational Strategies is 2025 version, 2025. So you need to make sure that you are choosing the latest version, because then it will have all the additional projects, all the roles that you need to do, and all the speeches that you need to record for that specific level. So this is something that please make sure that you choose the right workbook. It's not a disaster if you choose the wrong one, but please make life easy for yourself and also for us to make sure that we can track the progress. So once you've chosen the specific workbook, so for example, now I'm already working on a workbook, so I'm just going to say engaging humor path. I've completed these speeches already. I've completed level 2 as well. So now I have to finish my level 3. So let's say I say, okay, I'm going to do engage your audience with humor speech. So I'm just going to select that. And then I'm going to make my speech title. So at the moment, I haven't decided what my speech title is. So I might just put to be confirmed. And then I would choose my preferred date. So you can choose any of the dates that, so this already scheduled, so 3 speeches are scheduled, so probably you cannot choose for this one, but you have options available for the upcoming meetings. So maybe I choose one for the 1st of June. I need to have a first preference, not a third preference. And then I say save. And you could also give other preferences in case the speech is not available. So now in my participation, I can see my speech progress, and like I mentioned to you, I have requested for a speech, so I can immediately see it over here. And once the VPE approves the speech, you can already see it also on this sign up sheet. Now I'm not doing that bit at the moment, but then you will be able to see it over here. For the 1st of June, you will see that I'm the second speaker for the day, for example. Now for the other roles, you just have to click over here. Or the other option, obviously, is to also go on that specific meeting itself and look for the role. So this is one option for you to sign up, because this allows you to look at the future meetings as well. So this is a good choice. Or you can go to, let's say over here on the left panel, you can see meeting on 18th of May. I can go and check if there's any role available for me. So if I want to choose to be the welcoming officer, an evaluator, all I do is say yes. So I accept the evaluator role, and that's how you sign up for the role. Please also help us to make a record of whether you're coming for the meetings or not. So make sure that if you're not attending the meeting, you could just say a yes or a no. So we know that you're not coming. And if you're coming to the meeting, please say yes. So this also makes it easier for us to keep track of who comes into the meetings. And now as I pass it on to the next VPEs, this is something also that will be very useful for them. Now, if you are the chairman of the meeting, and this is something that a lot of you dread, Queenie, this one especially for you. This is not a lot of work. Let me put it this way. It's quite straightforward. So, for example, now we have the 11th of May meeting almost fully confirmed. What I need to do is just this. I just click on agenda on the right corner over here, and that pops up the agenda on the next sheet. So this one, you already have a prepared agenda. I have given an option where you can save this as a PDF, convert it into a Word, and add the details of the QR codes and the upcoming meeting, and just save it as a PDF and share. That's one option. Another option is just select all, copy, paste it into a Word doc. Just that sometimes the formatting is lost, and this is why I suggest doing the PDF and Word conversion. It barely takes you a minute or so, because these days the tools that are available are really quick. You can ask, many of our very senior members have also done the role, and they've been very comfortable doing it. But all you need to do is just copy and paste. The only reason we need to do this is because we as a club have always added the evaluation, the QR codes for evaluation and so on, and also details of our upcoming meeting. We could always take a call if we need to continue doing that, but at the moment, this is the thing that we've been following. So when you're a chairman, this is what you need to do. Also, usually when you're a chairman, as a VPE, I would assign the role as the meeting manager. So when you are the meeting manager, you would see something similar to what I see as a club officer. So now I'll show you what I see as a VPE when I look at this. So here I have a lot of options to edit, approve, cancel, right? These were not there when you saw it just as a member. So now, for example, for an upcoming meeting, if I feel like, oh, no one is signing up for this particular role. So as a VPE, I see these drop down lists. And then I can see like, oh, maybe this person has not done this role in a really long time. Maybe I can assign them this role. Also, you would have as a chairman, as the meeting manager, and you will also have the ability to add the word of the day over here. So when you click on the word of the day here, you can just add the word of the day. There'll be a pop-up again, and then you choose the word of the day and it would reflect on the agenda. So this is pretty much what we need to do on EasySpeak. The workbook that you choose should be corresponding to the path that you have chosen on TI. Please don't choose a different workbook because then we cannot approve the speeches on TI as completed. And like I said before, like EasySpeak and TI website don't speak to each other. So just because you've completed something on EasySpeak, it's not that automatically things are happening on the Toastmasters International platform. So make sure that you are updating there as well as you complete your speeches. Can I start working on a level 2 speech if I've completed level 1 but have not completed all the... Of course, you can totally start working on speeches. There's no restriction on when you start a specific level. So it could also be that, you are wanting to do a specific kind of a project that's going to help you at your workplace, like you want to run a panel discussion, right? And you want to practice it at the club. Feel free to do that. So even if you may be on the level 1 or level 2 of the specific part that you're doing, feel free to go and do one project in level 4 or level 5 where it belongs. I forget, I think it's level 5. And do the panel discussion. Use Toastmasters as a way for you to practice things for your workplace, for your day-to-day life. Don't do Toastmasters for the heck of Toastmasters. This is something that should help you in your real life, right? So absolutely, feel free to do that. Anyone, any specific questions?
In the past, we receive a manual copy of magazine from Toastmasters International. Now they have the e-copy
Thank you. I
on
was supposed to, yeah.
the website. So there are many interesting articles on the e-magazine on the Toastmasters International website. So you can
Okay.
check regularly.
So you can see over here, magazine on the Toastmasters. And then here you can see the featured articles and you can see all the details here. Also, you should get the magazine via your email if you are an active member of the club. I just got mine last night. Yeah. So you should get the magazine on your email as well, but this is where you find it on the TI website.